Alright, hello and welcome to my LGL Season 5 post-draft analysis. I'll be going over how good I think I drafted this season, and, some possible ideas for sets I can use for my Pokemon. Not gonna obviously give away too much, I gotta leave some stuff for the opponents, but I'm gonna go over my team and how well I think I drafted. But, alright, we're gonna start on my number 1 pick at 4th overall, Galarian Farfetch'd. And I think this is one of the 3 great fighting types, and is probably the second best, behind only Mienfoo, at least in a draft format. So, it gets 2 usable abilities, Steadfast and Scrappy, each being better against certain teams. Sometimes, though, you're not going to get anything out of either ability. And that's not terrible. Missing out on a completely useful, or like almost always useful ability kinda sucks, but this Pokemon has so many positives to it that missing out on a good ability is not really a problem, and Scrappy can be pretty nice in some cases. So, item. Obviously, I could run Leak. It gives it a base crit rate of 50%, which is just insane. You can almost rely on it critting. It's weird, it seems to crit way more than Zap Cannon hits. And that's 50 accuracy, a 50% chance to happen. This is a 50% to crit. But, I don't know, from experience, it just feels so consistent. For moves, I guess a couple other items for this thing. It's a very good choice scarf, for one of the best in the format. If I really wanted to go crazy, I could run Choice Band, but I think that's a little worse than just running Swords Dance. I could run an Expert Belt, it gets a decent selection of moves for that. Life Orb, not a huge fan of, I can't really recover, I don't get Train Punch or anything. Scarf is also good, with, 4 attack set, but it could also be good with a Final Gambit set. And then Berry Juice and Eviolite are obviously both going to be very good abilities on such a good Pokemon. Or not abilities, items. Moves, it gets Brave Bird, Close Combat, Knockoff, Leaf Blade, Poison Jab, and Quick Attack. It's really all you'll need for attacking moves. It also gets Swords Dance for setup, along with stuff like Final Gambit, Feint, something interesting you could run. Sky Attack, which I think is super fucking cool. It gets that. Does it get Thief? It doesn't. Simple Beam. I don't know why this gets that. That's pretty cool. I think this thing's pretty good in doubles. Some of these moves, it's getting like Helping Hand. Huh. Yes, I want you to try this thing out in doubles. Oh, it also gets Defog, along with Dual Wing Beat. This thing gets a lot of good moves, and its stats are very well rounded. Like 52, 55, 62. Really good bulk for Little Cup. 95 attack is incredible. It hits 20 with the positive nature and max IVs. So I think it's going to be near definite bring for most of my meaningful matches. Definitely won't bring it week 5. So I'm going to bring all my low tiers week 5, but even my low tiers, they're very, very good in my opinion, as we'll see soon. Ponyta Galar, 2 decent abilities. Pastel Veil can be nice, can't be ruined by Toxic Spikes. And Anticipation can be decent for scouting. Definitely. Items, definitely Eviolite is the far and away best item for this. Could also run Scarf, I think, quite viably. A decent Berry Juicer, just like normal Ponyta. Yeah, not as many great items, I'd say, as Farfetch'd Galar, but still quite good. Could also run Weakness Policy, with a lot of defense to try to take advantage of Knockoff. Stats, fantastic, because it's the same as a normal Ponyta. 50 HP being your lowest stat means you are most likely a very good Pokemon. Gets a lot of cool moves: Agility, Calm Mind, Dazzling Gleam, Healing Wish, High Horsepower, Expanding Force. Psychic, Wild Charge, Zen Headbutt, and Stored Power, Mystical Fire, can't forget that. All of those quite solid moves. I can get Double Kick. Could really mess with some people. And yeah, not too many great ones in the usually useless, except maybe Hypnosis, which could be quite cool. And also Bounce is kind of interesting. Yeah, Ponyta Galar, great partner with Farfetch'd Galar. It is also going to be a great partner with my third Pokemon in this in the draft, a Lowland Grimer. I drafted normal Grimer last season, and it's pretty similar in terms of item, usually Eviolite or Berry Juice. Not too many better items, maybe a Rocky Helmet in certain cases if I feel like this thing's going to be taking a lot of physical hits, a lot of multi-hits. Could definitely exploit that with Rocky Helmet. And it's got quite good physical bulk, as you'll see, 80-50, and I usually invest mostly in defense anyways. Poison Touch, great ability. Power of Alchemy only in doubles. Gluttony could be cool if I figure out a way, if I figure out a good berry I want to use on it. Does it get recycled? It doesn't. That would be really cool though. So for moves, Knockoff being a huge one. Gets all the elemental punches, I believe. Yep, Shadow Sneak for priority. Poison Jab or Gunk Shot, depending on what you fancy. Memento is always cool, Pain Split's cool, Power Up Punch is kinda nice. Rock Polish could be really threatening. Turns a really slow fat fucker into a really fast fat fucker, which I think is something you've always got to be on the lookout for. Curse, Disable, Explosion. Really, this thing's got a fairly vast move pool. Stone Edge is pretty good. And what do we got here in the usually useless? Prison's kinda interesting, don't know if I'd ever use it. Venoshock is kinda nice. I like that it gets Sunny Day and Rain Dance. That could be a possible strategy I use this season. Not sure yet. Have to be against one very specific opponent. And also Thief is nice. If I don't want to knock off their item, I'll just take it for myself. Bam, 3 Eviolites. And yeah, like I had mentioned earlier, stats are very good. I like the 80 HP, 80 attack. Makes it strong and pretty bulky without even really having to invest. Yeah, I can afford to put things, or EVs in speed. For a certain matchup, I can leave it. I don't have to like max invest in attack or max invest in one of my defenses. It's just going to be naturally hard hitting and bulky, which I definitely appreciate. Up next in the analysis is Corefish. Another slower but very strong attacker. Kind of a theme for my team. Slow but bulky and hard-hitting offense. Corefish really doubling down on hard-hitting. Adaptability is an incredible ability. Probably the best ability on my team, I would say. And there's no shame in that. Having basically all your stab moves be super effective by proxy is pretty cool. This is a viable choice band user, which there's not a lot of in Little Cup, I'd say. So congratulations to Corefish on that. It can use the Eviolite if I really wanted it to. Could be Life Orb, but I'm not too high on that. Berry Juice is another good one for this. I like the idea of Adrenaline Orb on this thing. I think that'd be pretty cool against like someone with an Intimidate user. I don't know how many of those there are in my division though. Also another good Scarfer. And one reason it's a great Scarfer is because it gets this nifty little move known as Switcheroo. So you know, people might have some really good check for this thing, like a Fungus, a Pharaoh. Not obviously Pharaoh's not great because of superpower, but that thing's going to be eating water moves for days. Or like Mariani, just something like a bulky water or grass, which there's a good amount of. When you give it a choice scarf, they're not very useful anymore. So it could be a really big play, like I give them a choice scarf, I get an Eviolite. That is still fantastic for me. I've got so many ways to switch around items with people on like really good Pokemon. Item Clause says I can only have 2 Eviolites, but Item Clause doesn't apply when I steal them. Yeah, it gets pretty decent moves. Swords Dance is nice. Taunt is interesting. X-Scissor for grass types. All the water moves you could want, including its own Crab Hammer. Aqua Jet for priority, always good to have. Dragon Dance if I want to set up and sweep. Endeavor if I want to run a Sash set for some reason with Aqua Jet. Bone Claws if I want Crab Hammer to hit every time and don't need speed. I've also got a decent amount of special moves, but not really. I think Crawdaunt gets more special moves. Which is why I've seen Specs Crawdaunt. Oh no, Sludge Bomb. That's interesting. Anything here? Nothing really. Huh, I forgot Trump Card was a move. Rock Tomb could be interesting if I wanted to mess with somebody. Ooh, counter. That's also nice. Yeah, Corefish I think is a really great breaker. Maybe not as much on my team because I already have a lot of them, but I guess let's just move on to the next one. Cubone. Thick Club Cubone hits so absurdly hard. It's kind of incredible. Abilities, 3 mediocre abilities I'd say. I'd usually run Battle Armor, because I don't usually use a recoil move on this thing, and I'm already immune to electric and I don't care about the special attack, so there's no point. I basically always run Thick Club on Cubone. There's not really a point to run any other item, which is nice with Item Clause. It's not like I'm going to run Thick Club on anything else. Moves definitely run Bone Meringue because of how little cup damage calculations work. Multi-hit moves are generally going to do more damage than, say, just Earthquake. 2 hits of Bone Meringue, even though they're both 50 power, will add up to slightly more than a 1 hit of Earthquake, even though they both effectively have the same base power. You could just run Earthquake for the accuracy if you don't care about the little extra damage, if, maybe you don't need it. Maybe it doesn't matter in any calcs. Fire Punch, very good to get through those bulky grasses. Knockoff, always nice. Perish Song, very cool, I must say. Run Perish Song, Protect. Why does this thing get Belly Drum? What? Whew. With a Belly Drum up and Thick Club, this thing hits 120 attack. Remember, this is level 5. This is a level 5 Pokemon hitting 100 in any stat, which is absurd. Yeah. Oof. Pokemon would have trouble being at +4 or being at +6 with an Eviolite or reaching over like 100 in one of their defenses. This thing is hitting 120 attack. The double attack on Thick Club, making it go from 15 to 30, and ×4 with the max attack Belly Drum. Ooh. 120 attack, that is OHKOing everything. Dynamic Punch is cool, Double Kick is cool. Get some interesting special moves too. Some Gen 1 bullshittery, I assume. Also get Sunny Day, Sandstorm, and Thief. But Thief is pretty useless, I'd say. Unless you get your Thick Club knocked off. Which, it happens, People don't want you having that Thick Club when it's hitting them for such ridiculous damage. Yeah, I think this Pokemon's really good. Definitely quite useful. Again, maybe not as useful because it's on my team, and it's fighting for spots with other slow Pokemon, but I think it's pretty good. Munchlax, definitely the best Recycle Pokemon. I think it's better than Magnemite in that regard. I think Magnemite's best when it's a Scarfer, just because of how strong it is. And it has Volt Switch, which is a really nice move. Especially when you have Stab on it. This Pokemon also has some really good moves. Counter is nice with its fat HP stat. Look at that. It's ridiculous. The stats are fantastic. I think this thing, it's a base set holding like the mid to high 300s with a 5 in speed. Which, you know, that's not too bad. A great move pool. Don't want to bother going over all of them because there's a lot. This also gets Belly Drum because why not? Thick Fat, very useful ability. Basically just giving you 2 resistances instead of none with your pure normal typing. Gluttony doesn't matter, and Pickup just isn't good in singles. Obviously this thing's getting a Berry Juice 99% of the time, if not 100%. Pineco, my main setup and removal of hazards. Rapid Spin, T-Spikes, Stealth Rock Spikes. Along with a couple interesting moves, it can run dual screens, which I find moderately intriguing. Run Iron Defense, doesn't get Body Press, I don't think, though. And it can also just explode, because why not? Very good Sturdy Juicer as well. Overcoat could be useful in like 1 or 2 matchups, but I'm not really going to bring Overcoat very often. Amora, another good hazard setter. I can actually set Hail for my team. So, I guess if I'm any weather, I'm Hail. Not that most of my team benefits from Hail, but Aurora Veil's nice. Can let my bulky attackers set up in whatever way they want to. Could be good with Corefish to get a Dragon Dance off. Encore is cool. Just a lot of these moves are just cool moves. Like you get Rocks, Wave. I think dual screens if you wanna take the hard route. Or if you want to run Refrigerate, I guess. It can refrigerate Hyper Beam, which is pretty nifty. And it's got a fairly high base stat total, which is kind of a common theme for my team. Litleo, the team's fire type. 2 mediocre abilities, 1 pretty good one. Moxie is nice. It does have low physical attack compared to special attack. But overall, I mean, when your lowest stat is 50 in Little Cup, that's pretty damn good. So I am not complaining at all. 72 speed is nice. I can, save a few EVs. I can use to put into all these other stats. Could be a decent choice Scarfer as well with Moxie. Could clean in the late game. Gets Flare Blitz in return in this format, which is fantastic. Iron Tail could be niche useful to break through a rock type that's trying to get cocky. And then maybe something just like Will-O-Wisp or Yawn in the last slot just to make them not think I'm scarfed. I definitely think this can also run Eviolite. I wish I got Morning Sun. That would be quite helpful. This getting Rain Dance is funny to me, because it also gets Sunny Day and Solar Beam. But why does this get Rain Dance? It's a fire type. There's not a lot of fire types with Rain Dance, I bet. Let's go add format. Okay. Just one Nat Dex. Fire. That's still not a lot. I mean, I figured Arceus would get it. Oh well, nah. Reshiram makes sense. Moltres and Rotom Heat. Well, yeah, because it's Rotom. Probably because of Gen 2 bullshit. I guess it's a Psychic type. Doesn't make sense. Oh wait, I think Eevee can learn Rain Dance, so I guess it makes sense. Doesn't make a lick of sense. Doesn't make any sense. Oh, Cubone gets it. No wait, Cubone doesn't get it. Doesn't make any sense. Oh, Cubone. Well yeah, there is no lull in Cubone. What the fuck, why do you learn it? It's Lightning Rod, Water, Rain, Lightning, fuck it. Just a big version of Little Cup. Learns because it's still Valley, learn because it's water type. Yeah, I don't know. About half of these I think didn't make any sense. Like, Heatmore is probably the most confusing. Fucking Heatmore, I forget you exist half the time. Alright. Yeah, I don't really understand that one. So, I mean, I'll probably never run this exact set, but I don't know, I think it could work as a Scarfer once in a while. Now, Rowlet, I think, is the best tier 5 in this format. Long Reach is a pretty cool ability, especially when you're facing things like Pharaoh Seed on ladder. People used to spam Rowlet so fucking often. It was hilariously common in Little Cup for a while. It's definitely fallen off now, but this shit used to be all over the place. Throwing out Defogs and Brave Birds without a care in the world. And you know what? I kinda like those days. The move pool is, I wouldn't say it's big, but it's solid. Like, it gets 2 priority moves, which is good. It gets Roost, Knock Off, 2 very good stabs. It doesn't get Leaf. Oh, it does get Leaf Blade. Yeah, I was right. Almost missed it there. Gets Swords Dance. Gets another healing move in case I want to run Sun at some point. Infuse Ray is kind of cool. Probably wouldn't use it, but just nice to have. Oh yeah, Sky Attack, because why not? Definitely a cool Pokemon. Glad I picked it up. I'm glad I picked it up. Whatever. Nah, fuck it. Stats, pretty decent. Fairly bulky. And with Roost, adds a good bit of longevity to it. Right, now down to the final 2. Sinistea. I definitely like this Pokemon. I think Weak Armor sweeping is pretty cool. Shell Smash doesn't work on it. At least something. I just know I can't Shell Smash with it. Shadow Ball. It gets some good moves. Oh, got another Tricker. I love Trick. Memento. Aromatherapy, Baton Pass. This is weird. It can both support and sweep. I like it. Like, it's Psychic for the fighting types that want to knock it off. Yeah, I really like this. The more I look at it, the more it excites me to use. Man, this thing just gets... Why does this get Phantom Force? What? Like, why? I guess Gen 8 Ghost type, but damn. Withdraw? Really? Really? Metronome? Again, not a huge move pool, but a very usable one. And then lastly, arguably the best tier 6 Venonat. 2 great abilities. Can run Eviolite or Berry Juice, I think, quite well. Though I do think it wants the Eviolite, which is a little tough when you're running a tier 6, but still. I could probably also run Sash if I wanted it to. Agility, didn't realize it got that at first. Sleep Powder is nice. Makes your Sleep Powders more accurate than a Galvantula. Thunder, which I already feel quite accurate, boosted by Compound Eyes. Morning Sun, Leech Life, Poison Fang. Reflect if you want to scream. Sunspore and T-Spike, Zen Headbutt. This thing is just solid. And I can dry Baton Pass, or I could Baton Pass a substitute after putting something to sleep. Always an option. Don't think it gets anything great in the usually useless. Secret Power could work. Basically, well no, it's basically just a weaker Body Slam at first. That doesn't get Body Slam though. Thief. That's probably its best usually useless move. Hopefully the team works out. I didn't make any changes in Grace. I considered a couple, but haven't made any changes to the team yet. Might make some trades during the season, we'll have to see. No, I'm pretty confident about the team this season. It's going to be a little different. Usually I like to focus on fire, water, grass cores. That's where I've done best. But this is a really strong core, I think. I think I perfectly utilized my low tier picks. And I just like a lot of the Pokemon I'm using. And I think that's the best thing. Like, I could draft Ferroseed. And I've used Ferroseed a ton on ladder. But I just don't really like Ferroseed. I tolerate it. I use Ferroseed because I don't like to have to think about my hazard game and dealing with most variants of Abra, so that's why I use it. But in draft, nah, I'm never picking up Ferroseed in draft. No thank you. Also Hidden Power Fire, but that's not that important. Yeah. I'll be facing Toby in week 1. I haven't really built a team yet. I think I've built like the outline of the team, but I'm not even going to use most of the Pokemon there. Or at least probably not half of them. I'm just trying to figure out some sets I want. But yeah, that's about it. And I'll see y'all next time. So stay thick and safe, everybody. Mwah.